Let's work on your ball toss. The ball toss is such a common go-to thing for tennis coaches when they're trying to improve the serve. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that really affect the ball toss and 2 practices that really will make a difference to your serve if you take them on court later on today. Welcome as always to mytenniscoaching.com. And the ball toss, it's such a common go-to for tennis coaches when we're working on serve. The vast majority of tennis coaches will work on a perfect ball toss. Now, most tennis coaches will isolate the ball toss itself, and they'll just get you to throw the ball up in the air, get the ball to bounce on a racket, throw the ball through a hoop, throw a ball against a fence. The list goes on and on and on. The issue is when you take away the racket and isolate the throw, you're just developing a really good throw. Once you reintroduce the racket, it changes the action. It changes the technique or the movement. It's a completely different skill. So when you're developing the serve, you have to always keep the racket in your hand and you have to serve. You can't decompose the movement of the serve. 3 things here now that will really affect your ball toss that tennis coaches and tennis players do not take into consideration. Number 1, emotion. Now, if I'm nervous, my ball toss is going to be completely different to if I'm confident. And I'm pretty sure most of you watching this video can relate. I can think back to times when I've been nervous, my ball toss is low, I'm not very confident in it, and it tends to fly all over the place because obviously my body's nervous, I get tense. It's going to affect how I move. Now, when I'm confident, my ball toss is quite high, it's quite steady, it's quite controlled. And during the course of a match, my emotions are going to fluctuate. I'm going to get excited, I'm going to get nervous, there might be periods, very rarely in my case, when I'm calm. So I have to be quite aware of my emotional state and the effect it has on my body. And obviously my body will then affect the mechanics of the serve, aka the ball toss. So first of all, be aware of your emotional state. Number 2 is the score. Linking into number 1 with emotion, the score has a huge impact on a player's emotional state. I'm going to serve differently at 40 love up than I am love 40 down. No matter how much we try and bypass it or how much we say don't think about the score, play 1 point at a time, the score will have a huge impact. So therefore, when we practice the serve, we have to manipulate the score quite a lot as tennis coaches. We need to ensure that our players can serve efficiently and effectively despite the score. And number 3, the environment, the conditions, the weather. Again, tennis is an unpredictable game, and generally speaking, most tennis matches happen outside. What do we have to contend with outside? Wind, sun, especially in the UK, rain. That's all going to have a huge impact on your ball toss. Now, if it's a windy day, you're going to have to throw the ball up differently to a calm day. If the sun is in your eyes one end, your ball toss is going to have to adapt and adjust. So this ties back to the start of the video. There's no such thing as a perfect ball toss. My ball toss has to be very versatile and very adaptable. So here are 2 ways in which you can improve your ball toss. Number 1, differential learning. Get your player, or if you're a player yourself, try and serve from multiple different places on the court. Serve from the baseline, serve from the tram line, serve from the service line, serve from multiple different positions, but towards the same target. This is repetition without repetition. I'm going to have to find multiple different ways to hit the serve to achieve the same target. This is great for getting your players to adapt and have a more versatile ball toss. Get them to start each point off from a different position, throw the ball up, hit the serve, and your players will start to understand that they can manipulate their ball toss to achieve different outcomes based on different positions. Number 2, manipulate the position of the returner. So in the clips, you can see I've manipulated the position of the returner. Sometimes they start in line with the server, sometimes they start on the opposite side. By manipulating the position of the returner, I'm trying to force the server into finding different solutions. They're going to start playing around with their ball toss. They're going to start throwing the ball more in front to try and get more of a striking action. They may start to manipulate the ball toss out wide to get more of a slice. So again, I'm trying to get the server to explore different ways of throwing the ball up. And there you have it. Try not to practice boring, isolated throwing techniques when developing the ball toss. Try and develop the ball toss in a fun, contextualized situation with the 2 examples that I've shown you today. Please feel free to watch the next presentation on how I developed the serve via play from the Tennis South African Coaching Conference. And until next time, I'll see you soon.